Hey Agape and friends, this is a follow-up video to this past weekend's message where Pastor Dave continued on in the series called Now What? The Holy Spirit from Creation to Now and Why It Matters. Well, this past weekend we looked at the Holy Spirit in the Old Testament. We looked at a few times where God poured out his Spirit onto a particular group of people or specific individuals and what that meant. And what I wanted to revisit was the story in Numbers 11, where the people are complaining. Moses is burnt out. He's in over his head. And so God has him select 70 elders. And as they're together, the Spirit falls on them, and God gives these 70 men his Spirit. Now, 2 of these men aren't with the others, and they begin to prophesy, just like the others who are all together. And so when the report gets back to Moses, a few people, including Joshua, are saying, Moses, this has to stop. And I love Moses' response. If only all the Lord's people were prophets, and the Lord would place his Spirit on them. What a beautiful statement. This longing. Oh man, imagine what the people of God would look like if God's Spirit was on every single person. We see this longing and hope echoed in the prophet Joel, where he prophesies, "After this, I will pour out my Spirit on all humanity. Then your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your old men will have dreams. Your young men will see visions." We can see throughout the Old Testament, this longing. God will pour his Spirit out on more than just a few people, but on all his people. I think this is important for us to remember because we have been given an incredible gift. If you are a follower of Jesus, you have the Spirit of God in you, empowering you, strengthening you, transforming your heart and mind, enabling you to be a witness to King Jesus. And we're in a position that a lot of the people of God throughout history would envy. They would envy this opportunity for the Spirit to be in them and working through them. That reminds us of the landing point that Pastor Dave took us to this past week, where he observed there's kind of 2 different mentalities that we can have, and how the people of Israel here in Numbers 11 were embodying this kind of slave mentality. They felt defeated and powerless. They were lacking trust in God. And they were complaining. It came out, and all of this lack of faith and struggle came out in the form of complaint, of hopelessness. That instead of trusting that God was leading them to their promised land, that he was leading them to their death. So we see the slave mentality, and we contrasted that with people who are filled with God's Spirit. And when we're filled with God's Spirit, we're empowered. We are given the strength to have faith and to trust that God is on the move, even if we can't see it or understand it in that moment. Where instead of complaint out of our mouths comes worship and praise and encouragement. Brothers and sisters, you have been given the amazing gift of the Holy Spirit. Let's be people who fully embrace that and fully walk that out every day. That we treasure this gift that we've been given. That we allow the Holy Spirit to move in us and through us. Let's be people who are full of faith. People who reflect the fruit of the Spirit. The Spirit working in us, producing love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness, gentleness and self-control. Let's allow the Spirit to empower us to be witnesses to those around us, that we look a little different than everybody else because we have God's Spirit within us. It's my encouragement to us for this week. I love you guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.